Good day. Today I want to tell you about how we can flip our lids. Now, have any of you ever experienced a big emotion and someone just push you to that point where you can't take it anymore and you lose it? Now, the moment we lose it, we actually flip our lids. And if we think of young children, they flip their lids quite often. Now, Daniel Siegel has invented this saying, and he also uses the hand model to explain flipping your lid. So I'm also going to use the hand model to explain flipping your lid. So if I take my hand like this, my thumb is my remember the right brain is your feelings brain. So my thumb is the feelings, and the top part, my neocortex, that is the left brain, and that is the self-regulation part. So my top part is my left brain, my thinking, my facts, the reasoning, that's all the top part. Now, sometimes when something happens, we can think it out, but the more emotions we experience, the more difficult it is for us to reason. And then this part of our brain starts moving, and the moment our lid is flipped, our feelings are exposed, and no longer is it being regulated. And the moment this happens, it's chaos in your brain. So other principle that I'm going to put on my page as well, which you're welcome to print it out, you're welcome to use it in your classroom if you're a teacher, you're welcome to use it as a parent to teach your child about emotional intelligence and about flipping your lid. Because it's quite interesting that if you teach children about flipping their lids, that they can become more emotional intelligent, and sometimes they even become verbal and they tell you, I'm about to flip my lid. And then you need to help them to regulate their emotions. So I have a paper here, which I use, and this is our normal brain. This is how we regulate our emotions. So at the top I have my thinkers, and I just used some stickmen to visualize the thinkers. So my top part is obviously this part, and those are the thinkers. Those are the ones that regulate the brain. And then I have the bottom part, which are my feelers, and that's your right brain, which you use. Now with my feelers, I also have a little messenger who can go up and down, and as they experience emotion, they can carry the emotion up towards the ladder. And then the thinkers, they help to come up with a solution, and that's how your brain regulates your emotions. But sometimes something happens, and a big emotion is experienced. Then I call this guy that goes up and down, his name is Big Boss Buzz. So Big Boss Buzz, that's also something very cute that I found on Pinterest from someone else, and I incorporated it into my flipping your lid. So Big Boss Buzz, the moment a big emotion has been experienced, he goes and he presses that alarm. And when that alarm is pressed, this happens. You flip your lid. So we have creative Cora, she's unbalanced. Flexible Freddy, no longer are you flexible. Problem solving Poppy, and calming Colin. Right, so they are all flipped over. And what we have at the bottom is Big Boss Buzz, who's alerting you something's wrong, alerting Anna, and frightened Felix. Big emotions. And if you think of that, if we think of any child who's experiencing, let's take a child that's throwing a tantrum. If you think of a child that's throwing a tantrum, they are experiencing either anger, or they're experiencing frustration, or they are experiencing confusion because they don't understand why you are not giving them permission to do something, and the emotion's so big that they can't seem to reason, why doesn't mommy let me climb up that high wall? So as soon as their emotion is big enough, they flip their lids, and then There's nothing you can do to reason with them. So and this is also part of the neuroscience, and as I mentioned in my blog post, that a child's right brain develops first. So emotions and feelings, they are there first. And only at age 7 does a child's left brain start developing. So up until age 7, it's really difficult to reason with your child, and you always have to meet them in the right brain. That means that we have to go down to their level, look them in the eye, feel what they are feeling. So say your child, let's take the example that I use now about climbing up the wall. Say your child wants to climb up that high wall, and you see it and you tell him, Tommy, get down from that high wall, you're going to fall. And he says, no, I won't, I'm going to climb up. And you say, Tommy, you better get down now, because if you don't get down, you're going to be in big trouble. And Tommy jumps down that wall and he's really angry and he falls down and he just refuses to do anything. And he starts crying, and you say, Tommy, it doesn't help if you are angry now. And sometimes at that point, they push us to flip our lids. They push adults. I'm not a parent, but I'm a teacher, and I know that children can easily push you to flip your lid as well. And at that moment, as you get angry, the child experiences more emotions, and Tommy starts crying, and Tommy is emotional, and it's really difficult for him to understand why you said he's not allowed to climb up that wall. So you can go 2 ways. The first one is to start flipping your lid and getting angry, but I promise you it won't go anywhere. It might get worse. So the best thing is to follow the actions that I mentioned in my posts. First of all, you get down to their level. That can mean that you bend down, that you sit down next to them, but just get down on their level. As when we are higher than them, they see us as superior, and they don't see like they can really connect with us. So it's important for them to know that you want to connect with them. So the moment you get down to their level, they already feel more connected. Then when you are down to their level, you have to feel with them. That means you have to use your voice. You have to use your facial expressions, and you have to use your body. So if you're angry, you can't go and stand there and like, okay, I know you're angry now. You have to feel with them. So use your voice. Tell them, Tommy, I can see that you are really upset now. You really wanted to climb up that wall, didn't you? And I'm quite sure that he will not, or you will say, yes, I wanted to, but you didn't want me to. And then we show some empathy. We show that we care, and we see, I know, I can think that it must have been exciting for you. Bring up some feeling and emotions. It must have been exciting for you to climb up that wall, and then I came and I told you not to climb up that wall. Do you think I'm horrible now? You talk to them, you reason with them, let them talk to you as well. And if they don't want to talk, it's fine. Just show them that you acknowledge their feelings, and then you will see that they will start calming down. It might not be immediate, sometimes it will, but the moment they start calming down, then you reason with them. So then we can go to the left brain and we can start reasoning. So before a child's calmed down, you can't reason. You have to meet them in the right brain. You have to meet them at their emotions. And emotions are expressed through your voice, through facial expressions, through body language. So we have to use that when we talk to children. And then when you start reasoning, then you can say, Tommy, I really care, and I don't want you to climb up that wall because I'm scared that you're going to fall. And Tommy might still be angry with you, or Tommy might say, but Mommy, I won't fall. And then you say, yeah, but I'm just really scared that you might fall. So you reason with him afterwards. And most of the time that helps. There are times where a child's really lost it, where you really just have to be with the child and let the child cry it out, let the child feel their feelings, because it's really important. I grew up where we don't cry over everything, and yeah, it's true, you don't, but We must cry. We must cry because that makes us feel better. We must laugh. We have to be angry. If you're angry, you have to be angry so you can get over it. Because if you take that anger and you don't let it come out, then it will only get worse. And then that's when you start holding grudges and when you start actually poisoning yourself. So it's really important that we do use our feelings and that we do show feelings. And your child needs to know that it's okay to show feelings, and it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be angry, and it's okay to be happy. And just as it's okay for them to be angry and sad and happy, it's also okay for you to be angry and sad and happy. And if you teach them this flipping your lid, this one, it's a good thing to put on your fridge so your child can see it, and it's quite visual so they will understand, especially if you use the names. So if you use this and you teach this to your child, when they start pushing you, so they are pushing you to your limits, you can even start telling them, Tommy, I am going to flip my lid. And most likely, if Tommy's old enough and you've been doing that with him for a while, Tommy will understand and Tommy will back off, because Tommy knows what it feels like when you flip your lid. Right, so I just wanted to share that with you today. My Instagram page is Become Through Therapy, and I am a play therapist trainee at the moment. I'm also a teacher, and yeah, children are my passion. I would really like to help children in every way possible, and I would also like to help and advise parents with parenting their children. So I really try to read up a lot so that I can give you correct information. Have a lovely day and thanks for listening.